Hello, this is Steve Hermann, and I'm the author of Mediumship Mastery, the Ultimate Guide, which is available on Amazon. This whole YouTube channel of mine is completely dedicated to training with mediumship and developing mediumship. And I'm really into the whole teaching aspect of mediumship. And just last week, I did a video on the 8 best books on mediumship development that I, as a teacher of mediumship, highly recommend. But I want to add a couple other books to that. So I'm doing this video to follow up with 3 books which I also feel are essential books on mediumship development. And the first book was written by an American medium from Ohio. His name was Hudson Tuttle. And that's Mediumship and Its Laws, Its Conditions and Cultivations. Now, I don't think this is the greatest book on mediumship development. But I'll tell you, if we go back into the 1890s, this came out in 1900, that whole period, the 1880s, mediumship was widespread all over the United States, and it was widespread all over Europe and all over the world in terms of people getting into it, in terms of physical phenomena that was taking place. And Hudson Tuttle, he was a very early pioneer of the modern spiritualist movement. Going back into the 1850s, he started working with the mediumship. And his understanding of the laws of spirit communication and how to go about it are invaluable. The language that's written, it's a bit archaic, but the information in this particular volume, it's essential. So I highly recommend this book. The other book, and I got this in the UK, and this is actually a very, very, very good book, and it's actually called Communication with the Next World. Some of you in the UK maybe even already have it. And it's received mediumistically from a very, very prominent spiritualist, and his name was William T. Stead. And you know how he passed over? He passed over on the Titanic back in 1912. He was a fantastic journalist, influenced foreign policy in England. If we go back into the late 19th century, Gladstone would read his editorials, people in Parliament would read his editorials, and really listen to what he was saying about so much which was going on politically back then. But William Stead was also an adamant spiritualist, published his own spiritualist journal, which came out regularly, and contributed much to the movement. He even established a charitable institution where people could go who had lost loved ones. It was called Julia's Bureau, and it was in London. And you'd lost them, and you could go in there, and there were mediums who were employed to give out free readings to people who were devastated by the loss of someone close to them. So Stead was fantastic. He was going on another lecture tour over to the States, and he just happened to take the Titanic, and he passed over. But he communicated through Madame Hiver on mediumship development. He also communicated to his daughter Estelle, and there's some communications that were also published by her. But this book, Communication with the Next World, it's not that thick. I know that there's a number of different places where you can get it in the UK, so it's still available, and I highly recommend it. The information is very, very, very good, and anything that having to do with William Stead, worth getting. That guy was brilliant. When he passed over to the world of the spirit, the mission that he embarked upon to spread the teachings of spiritualism, it didn't end. Now, the other book, which is extremely good, oh, I love this book. It's called The Handbook of the Phenomena and Philosophy of Mediumship. And this was published in 1923. It's a very, 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 very good volume. The name of the medium who actually channeled the information that's in here and put this together, her name was Mary C. Vilasek. And this is not a book that you're going to find. There might be some reprints of it available. This is an original copy of it. But it's called The Handbook of the Phenomena and Philosophy of Mediumship. And it gets into the different planes in the spirit world, different ways of identifying different guides or helpers from different planes. who might work through you mediumistically. It also classifies all the many dozens and dozens different phases of physical and mental types of mediumship. Very, very, very good. Talks all about the conditions, how to set up physical circles, how to set up circles for development of the mental types of mediumship. If we go back into the 1920s, the World War I era, a lot of mediumship was taking place, both in Europe as well as all over the United States. The 1920s was really so much actively going on involving spirit communication. Of course, now that we're going into the 2020s, we see there's a resurge. We see there's such a great need for spirit communication in this modern world. So that's why the development and the training is very, very important. So these 3 books I highly recommend. I'm very much involved in the teaching. I teach a lot of online courses, in-person courses. I do one-on-one mentoring, and I'm really into helping people with their growth mediumistically. So please subscribe to this channel. If you have any comments, please put them down below. Please keep in touch, and if I can help you in any way, please feel free to get in touch with me. So thank you very much, and God bless each and every one of you.